Michael Jordan and a few of these guys, Jay, they are throwing $100 bills into the air in this section, basically with mostly dudes. I know we both picked up thousands of dollars in cash, like from on the ground. It was falling on us.
So Michael Jordan made it rain on you.
Yes, exactly.
How to beat the trap. Hey, peace, family. You know what it is. We're back for another episode of How to Beat the Trap. And I'm your host, Jay Morrison, and I'm sitting here with a phenomenal guest, all kinds of personality, all kinds of accolades, all kinds of inspiration, motivation, game, all that. Mr. Double D, 82%, Daniel Dickey, King, is going to be sitting here with us. And as you guys know, How to Beat the Trap is about bringing on amazing overachievers, entrepreneurs, influencers who have defied and beat some of America's most infamous traps, right? The corner trap, the correctional trap, the culture trap, the corporate trap, and all them traps. And King D, the trap is defined as a program or system designed to entice or entangle you, but secretly for the benefit of another. Will it reel you in,
Right.
suck you in,
Right.
but it's secretly for the benefit of these systems or programs.
Extrapolate your sauce
All that
for exploitation.
in real life. So guys, so you know, King Daniel Dickey is a brand, an award-winning brand manager, publicist, singer, overall swag, amazing black man, philanthropist, and all good things. Based out of here, Atlanta, Georgia, from North Carolina.
Yep.
Born and raised, and he's our special guest today. So King D, thank you for coming to the trap.
Man, thank you for having me. I appreciate all that you bring to the world, and I think this is a fun iteration of Jay Morrison sharing himself.
I like it.
And sharing the logic, the mindset,
My relationships,
yes, exactly,
resources,
exactly,
all
exactly.
that.
Yes. So shout out to you for that.
Thank you.
And I appreciate you having me.
Absolutely, man. It's a pleasure. So let's dive into this thing, man. So the way the trap works is this, kind of like if we were literally going into a trap,
Okay.
and we see that it's a setup,
Right.
we're going to bust a move and reverse up out of that thing,
Yeah.
right? So the first thing we want to do is we want to reverse engineer, starting with who you are today. Who is the man, Daniel Dickey, obviously the CEO, founder of Resource Guild, but I want you to just give them who you are today, personally, professionally, and then we're going to reverse engineer into what was life like for young Double D.
Okay, gotcha.
And what traps you faced, and we'll do some breakdowns.
Okay. So I am a Renaissance man. I proudly own what that truly means, and which means that you are diversely capable, diversely accomplished, and have at least a baseline knowledge of quite a few fields and studies and things of that nature. And so I get to express that through an agency called the Resource Guild. It's a 360-degree brand management and strategy consulting agency. I came out of the PR space because I felt like that space was a little too small, too minute for what I bring to the world.
Yeah.
It was like
bigger shoulders.
Facts. It was it was like Shaq trying to get into one of these little minis.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and so I knew that wasn't
Didn't feel right.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I got one leg out the window and I'm like, I could barely, So steering left-handed, I'm right-handed. Yeah, it was too confining and it was too small. And I know that's one of the things that this country does. They really want to pigeonhole us down the paths of
boxes.
Yes, exactly. This is your trade. This is what you're going to do forever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This is your gift.
You're only a politician.
Yeah, exactly.
You're an activist.
Exactly.
You're a
That's
singer.
all you got.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so just to be defiant to that, I think is a big key to beating the trap, is because what they want to do is they want to prison your minds first and make your mind small and think about small things.
It's a mental trap.
Yes. And so I'm a Renaissance man. I do own a award-winning brand management and strategy consulting agency. In that space, I've been blessed to be a part of the launches of so many impactful people, so many impactful campaigns. But then I am also a singer-songwriter. I did go to college on vocal scholarship. I did travel the world as a vocalist. As a solo artist, I have been blessed to open for John Legend and Jagged Edge and Carl Thomas on 112 and Ryan Leslie and all these artists. But then I'm also I'm a sports guy. I still love to play basketball.
Okay. 82%.
Yeah, facts. It's a bucket. I will get a bucket. I don't look like I'm gonna be the guy, but I am the guy. And that's just a good thing for you to know about me in life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't look like I'm gonna be the guy. Yeah. It's like, it's the stealth bomber. I still I play tennis. I am an activist and a philanthropist. I consult with a lot of the top activists across the country, including, this gentleman right here, and a host of others. I'm the chairman of the Young Professional Advisory Board for an organization here called Hosea Feed the Hungry and Homeless. That was birthed out of the civil rights movement by civil rights icon Reverend Hosea Williams.
Nice.
I get to do a program with this guy called Big Brothers Anonymous, where we impact young men who specifically need that impact to escape the trap from ages of 12 to 24.
Partner with the Obama Foundation.
Yes, exactly. Be clear. My Brothers Keeper Alliance. And to me, it's, and I also think even a part of my activism is to unapologetically be my whole self, because wholeness is not something.
That's defiant.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Walking in your real truth.
Exactly. And that that wholeness is not something that will be, these systems, this trap will never teach you how to be whole. It'll teach you how to make money. It'll teach you how to do these singular things, but wholeness is something very different.
Right. I was just thinking, so I got a few things for you, but one, I want to stop on that point. 'Cause I was thinking like high school, even college. There's courses and classes on everything. Even financial literacy is starting to be introduced.
Yep.
But self-care.
No, not at all.
Being whole.
Yeah.
Purpose. I mean, things that actually we all know matter in life. Like, I think we all figure that out.
Exactly.
But it's not taught but guess what? The trap.
Exactly. They're still teaching you about Christopher Columbus.
And photosynthesis.
Yeah, exactly. So
That's not how you could be your best whole self.
Exactly. And then the thing is, unfortunately, that in itself was something that our parents didn't really even know how to teach that. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like, because our moms have a full access to all of the feminine wiles and can teach you how to serve and do all those kinds of things. And dad can teach you how to work hard, you know what I'm saying?
Masculine.
Yes, discipline, all that kind of stuff like that. But we are all wholeness for people is understanding how to balance your masculine and your feminine energy, your yin and your yang, your dark and your light. And so that you'll never learn.
Wow, that's interesting. And mind you, so who does that benefit, family? Right?
Yeah.
If we all go through school, we learn these complex things like trigonometry and geometry,
super pointless,
right? All these things, but we're not even learning how to be our best selves, walk into our full purpose, to be healed, to be balanced. We're not learning that because the school system, literally was designed. I think it was, I want to say Roosevelt, one of our presidents. Perpetuate the school system just to build an industrial class.
Exactly.
Let's teach them just enough
to do the work that we want them to do. Exactly. To essentially still be the slaves
to benefit another.
Yes. Yeah. It's the modern iterations and perpetuations of slavery.
Right. So the school system we thought was about us, right? Entice and entangle us. Guys, we got education for you. It's free.
Right.
Have your kids go to school. Right. Yeah. They want your kids to go to school.
So they can install a program in your hard drive
so they could be the next working class, but so you don't got to be at home watching the kids, so you could be our current working class while we groom your kids to be the next working class.
Right. And then we pollute the wells through our media and we make a bunch of stupid people famous. And so now, so we make a bunch of stupid people famous and now we've literally polluted generations of mindsets. It's like when we went from having like actual high achieving people as our celebrities, you know what I'm saying, to now
heroes.
Yes. And now it's the lower tier. Oh, okay, you dug in your nose and rubbed it on your teacher's lip. You're a star.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. You're viral.
Yes.
You're the guy.
Right.
Right. So he's really cracking himself up here.
Right. Look, I mean, it just came hypothetically, but look, that'd be the kind of stuff, the wildness of going viral. You dug in your nose and rubbed it on your teacher's lip, and now you're 3 million views, and now you're lit. Ellen DeGeneres wants to talk to you on her show.
Insta famous. Right. All kids be like that.
Right.
Awesome. All right. So, and also you were talking about a lot of your skill sets. I want to go back to the Renaissance man.
Okay.
So, very intricate, underutilized term.
Yeah.
Break down what that means. And you talked a little bit about it, but I want you to kind of unpack that some more for us. What's a Renaissance man?
I mean, like when I'm able to, and which I don't really do, because a lot of times people meet me in a certain context, and I'll just stay in that context with them. It's like, okay, you heard I was the plug. Okay, cool. Let's talk about what kind of plugs you can afford to access.
Plug?
Yeah.
What kind of plug are you? We're in a trap now. What kind of plug are you?
I'm the plug of plugs. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, I've really been able to monetize being connected. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And those connections are across the gambit. You know what I'm saying? Like, so somebody could get found missing. You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody could come up missing, or, you know what I'm saying? We
Look,
it was
I ain't say nothing.
Right. It's like, but, so when I enjoyed the secret agent movies. Growing up, so those are people who had they had access to a lot of different information technology, and their team was full of all of those people that solved those immediate problems. But then also the guy that was ahead of the team kind of had a knowledge of all of those things. And so I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the point guard position in basketball. Someone who definitely kind of had a control of the offense and the defense and could make sure everyone was in their positions to win. Growing up, I'm from a family of actors and preachers and singers and civil rights activists and educators. So when I looked at it, it wasn't me necessarily trying to be a Renaissance man. It was the fact that
That's
did
who
play.
I am.
Yeah, exactly. I did play soccer. I did play basketball. I did play baseball. I did sing in choir. I did win the spelling bee. I did have art featured at the state level as a kid. So it wasn't like a path that I pursued. It was just when I looked at what that meant and I looked at my life, it was like, oh, I'm super that.
Right. So how have you been able to, because like a lot of times I think that people, like, I know for me, I remember being in high school, 9th grade, and someone had mentioned like the valedictorian, right? And I was like, yo, I want to do that. I was a really good writer. And then my boys I hung around in the trap was like, man, you want to do that corny
Exactly.
Excuse me. Boop. Right? You want to do that corny stuff?
Right.
And so I literally deflated my dream. Like, yo, I'm not going to write because my boys said that was corny. Right? So I would dumb down some of my renaissance, some of my diversity of skills. Right? I'm more than just a hood dude. I'm a hood dude.
Right. However,
right? Yeah. I can write.
Exactly.
Right? And these other things, right? So, I'm more than just a basketball player.
Yeah.
I can play tennis.
Exactly.
Right? So, how have you been able to have you always had that level of confidence in growing up? Is that something you found more in adulthood? How are you able to kind of have that, and when did it start?
Honestly, I really feel like when I turned 12, bro, it was like something kind of really switched in me at 12, and I think it was one of the first switches of that unapologetic aspect, because it was at 12 you're trying to figure it out, but you're also trying to get girls,
right?
You know what I'm saying? And it was like so the drama class is definitely where girls were gonna be. You know what I'm saying? The music was definitely where girls were gonna be. I mean, there was football, but I was just gonna be a bunch of stink dudes. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get girls.
Right. After practice.
Right, exactly. And so it was like, understanding that, but then also understanding that I was gifted in those things. You know what I'm saying? It was like I was never the best at any of the things, but I was dope at everything, and it was very effortless. Like I was just effortlessly dope at a lot of things.
So you were okay walking in your gifts that may have not been the most popular gifts for the crowd.
Right. And then at 12 also, my oldest brother, he's as a singer, he's open for Luther Vandross. He's recorded with Shirley Caesar and John P. Key and all these artists. So I knew that was in front of me. You know what I'm saying? And so, and then my middle brother, he was always really good in athletics. And then he was like the fashion icon of my siblings. And so I knew he had the fashion thing. So I kind of got to glean pieces of what they had going on.
Gotcha.
But then also just that understanding, watching my dad. My dad was a DJ. My dad's, he definitely has bought the block a couple of times over again. He's the property manager. He's cutting the grass. Well, he was having us do all those things.
Right.
And all those things. But he also played tennis. He was also a Q. He's also a Mason. And so I really got to see that. A licensed funeral director, licensed insurance guy.
Your dad was the original Renaissance man.
Exactly. And so it was like, so understanding that, and then just to us as a people, we don't come from simple people. We don't come from people who did anything simply. Like when we were creating science and math and agriculture and music and fashion, these people were already mothers and fathers and pillars in their community, healers, more closely interwoven and connected to each other. So it was like, we're having to unlearn, and you know what I'm saying, and embrace who we truly are as Renaissance people.
Right. Embrace our multifaceted gifts and walks of life, all that.
And I think a lot of times for us, we get trapped in that because we're thinking about monetizing everything.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying? If you like to draw, maybe you should just draw because it brings you peace. It brings you balance. It helps you express yourself. Maybe you never get paid for that.
Right.
But you should still do that. And I think that's now if we're just thinking money, and that's a trap also, because the root of all evil can't be your pursuit in all your days and all your ways.
Absolutely. So okay, I want to dive into some more of that and some more of the upbringing side. I love to hear that. But I got a trap challenge for you.
Okay. Trap
all
challenge.
Right. First, I haven't done a trap challenge yet, but this is gonna kick something off.
The inaugural trap challenge, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, inaugural trap challenge.
Okay.
All right, so who'd you open up for, you said, on the singing tip?
John Legend, Jagged Edge, Carl Thomas, Lloyd, just some high-level R&B dudes. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah. I'm an R&B dude.
All right, so singers. All right, so trap challenge. You got to hit a note. You got to bust a note.
Well,
trap challenge.
So
we need to hear something.
Who are some of your favorite male vocalists ever?
Keith Sweat.
Okay.
That's one of my favorite.
Okay.
Who else do I like, male vocalists? I can't say the other guy. He's canceled.
Okay, yeah, we got to keep moving.
Who else? Jada, give me somebody. Who do you like? Yeah, I'm down with Luther. I'm down with current day. I like a John Legend. I like a Jaheim.
Okay.
I like a Jaheim Jersey guy. What up,
yes,
Jersey?
exactly. Jaheim Jersey.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that. Who else? I like a 112. Q Parker, what up? You know what I mean?
Okay.
So,
All right. Okay, I got a couple of things I can pull from here. Let's go with. Okay.
Wherever you're comfortable, you know what I mean?
I mean, I'm comfortable. You know what I'm saying? I'm comfortable in life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm comfortable here, Earth.
Comfortable in the trap?
Yeah. I'm comfortable. Yes. It's like you got to figure. I think life is about figuring it out for us. And as long as we are able to keep our minds on figuring it out, we'll be in better position to beat the trap.
All right.
Yeah. So,
figure it out. What's up?
So let's go with. Girl, I'm in love with you, and this ain't the honeymoon. I'm past the infatuation phase. I'm right in the thick of love, and at times we get sick of love, and it seems like we argue every day. I know I misbehave, and you make mistakes. We both still got room left to grow. And though love sometimes hurts, I still put you first. And we'll make this thing work. I just think we should take it slow. We're just ordinary people. We don't know which way to go, cause we're ordinary people. Maybe we should take it slow. Take it slow. This time we'll take it slow.
Y'all heard me in there. Y'all heard me in there.
Do what for me?
Live from the trap. Yeah, we R&B dudes.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
exactly.
saying?
You know what I'm saying? Rhythm and blues.
Ernestine Morrison, you got an R&B dude.
Yes, exactly.
That was awesome, man. Awesome. On the spot, no warm up, no kick,
Right,
none of that.
There was no key, there was no water. I didn't even clear my throat.
None of
which
that.
is actually not something you're supposed to do as a vocalist right before you're singing. You're actually not supposed to bring up phlegm and stuff like that. You're supposed to swallow.
Interesting, see?
Yeah.
Trap gems.
Pro tips. You know what I'm saying?
Awesome.
Peace family, it's Jay Morrison, and I want to invite you to make history with me by joining the waiting list for this first of a kind video textbook. That's right, an interactive video textbook experience that will allow you to learn real estate in 7 different ways. This book was designed by me to help you become a real estate power player in real life. All you gotta do is join the waiting list right now, and I'm gonna give you a free 20-minute mini lesson plus business plan and workbook to allow you to begin your journey in real estate and learn how to become a real estate entrepreneur. Guys, I started 20 years ago. This is my 20th year victory lap in the real estate industry. I started as a loan officer at 21 years old, making a lowly 30% commission. And now I've worked my way to become an international fund manager of the largest black-owned real estate crowd fund in the history of America. Guys, I want to give you the game and show you and teach you real estate in 7 different learning styles through this interactive, first of its kind video textbook. Join the waiting list today.
Awesome. All right. So were you the youngest of these brothers and siblings?
So I have 2 older brothers and 1 little sister.
Okay. So you're like in the middle somewhere there.
Baby boy.
Okay. Baby boy. Grew up in North Carolina. Tell us about your upbringing and what that was like. We seen your dad was getting busy and the family was active. What was that like for you growing up?
Well, so I think I'm very.
And hold on, excuse me. By the way, amazing job though. Amazing job. This gonna do some numbers. Yeah,
right.
You're taking that clip right there.
Yeah, exactly. The duet with duet with Jay Morrison.
I couldn't help it. I was just feeling like I felt like I was in church in the choir. And I was just sitting here. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And so that was definitely a part of my upbringing. I'm actually the namesake of my 2 grandfathers.
Okay.
And so Daniel was one of the first black doctors in Wilmington, North Carolina, where I'm from. He was the co-plaintiff in a litigation that integrated the hospitals in Wilmington, North Carolina, and the education system in Wilmington, North Carolina. He was also the first black man to run for office in Wilmington, North Carolina. And he was coincidentally the doctor who brought me into the world. So on my birth certificate is my grandfather's name.
Wow.
And so then my other grandfather.
So Daniel delivered Daniel?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
I like it.
Yes, so it was the Daniel delivery of a Daniel. And so then I got my middle name from my other grandfather, and he is still alive, and he's the 2nd longest tenured reverend in the history of the First Missionary Baptist Church. And so both of my grandfathers have their names on buildings. They both have, my grandfathers have name letters from presidents and honorary doctorates and all that kind of stuff like that. And so church was definitely very much a vital key cog for us. We grew up singing in a choir in our hometown that was all the talk of the town because there was 100 black voices in Wilmington, and Wilmington is 75% white. And so 100 black people doing anything, most especially when it's
made some noise, literally.
Exactly. And so so that was definitely a part of my upbringing. My oldest brother, the one who opened for Luther Vandross and stuff, my church was giving him all the solos. So that's how I really got into R&B. It was like, yo, let me find something else to do because, you know what I'm saying? They got, they
can't win.
Yeah, I can't win. And so that was really kind of what nurtured my love for R&B. Again, I grew up definitely playing sports. All of my schools were all predominantly white. So that was definitely a part of my experience. I was definitely as a kid, I was definitely you talk like a white boy from all the little bad brown chicks that I was checking for.
Right.
They was, you talk like a white boy. You know what I'm saying? Now, super in my DMs. But, you know what I'm saying? But and so at that point, it was definitely that. I was a class clown. And really, when I look back, even now, when I think about all the elements of leadership that I've been a part of now, as a kid, that was looking back and thinking about how my teachers, because I was definitely the class clown. I was the kid that was doing my work before the rest of the kids in school, in the class, and then I was throwing spitballs at them.
Right.
I was that kid. I was the kid that the teachers my friends' parents knew who I was because the teachers would tell their parents, like, listen, your son is actually not the actual problem. It's really this kid named Daniel Dickey, but Daniel Dickey's got an A in the class. So it's like, so I would have an A and then a U, like the worst conduct, but the highest grade. So I was that kind of kid growing up. I was a person who, and still now, leaders have always taken some level of affection to me. And so just in all my chapters of life, it's always been leaders that have been like, hey kid, like I want to make sure I spend some time with you. I want to make sure you spend some time with me. So even as a kid, that was that. Like I definitely started some of my first philanthropic endeavors at 12. Wow. And I was in soup kitchens, making food and serving food to the less fortunate. We would go out and winterize the houses of senior citizens where we'd go and put,
Did someone make you do that as a task? Like,
no. It was one of my most impactful mentors even now. His name's Kenny House, Jewish guy. And he was very, very intrigued by Christian community development and being the part of the faith-based community that actually does the stuff.
Right. Do the work.
Yeah, exactly. That actually does the work. And so that was my exposure. And so I got so much joy from helping others and serving others. And at this point now I know that there's no way you can unlock purpose if you aren't thinking about serving others.
Absolutely. All right, cool. So let's fast forward through high school.
Okay.
You played ball, did those things. Did you go to college?
Yeah. I went to college on vocal scholarship.
Awesome.
And so I started off majoring in business administration because I knew I was trying to get to the BI. You know what I'm saying? But I went to a HBCU, and my professors were Indian and African. And sometimes you can't really understand what they really super duper talking about for real. And the kids that were majoring in mass comm at my school were always coming to me to help them with their projects. They would just want me to laugh. Like, hey, Dickey, if you could just laugh for 30 seconds. Or, hey, Dickey, do that thing where you do. And they were just watching me, apparently, just being my regular self.
Right.
And deciding that was content that they could use to get grades. And so I was like, hold on, you're getting a grade for this? And it was me joining somebody. And I'm like, oh, okay, got it. And so that intrigued me to major in mass comm. I wrote a press release to get my choir featured in the Charlotte Observer. And that was kind of what kind of lit the PR bug as a part of it. So I wrote that press release, and our choir got featured in the Charlotte Observer. And the president of my school was super like, who's this young man who, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, so, because, obviously, so at that point I learned that leaders love some good PR.
Right.
And so I interned at the ABC, the local ABC News affiliate. I interned on the set of the movie Shallow Hal, and a few of those things in school. And it just kind of was just like, because my mission, even now and still, is to figure out how to get paid to just be myself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, not
That's
to
a bar.
Yeah,
That's a bar.
Like, how do you get paid to just be you? Like, what you naturally bring to a moment, be valuable. You know what I'm saying? And so that was kind of my mission, and I feel like I figured that out.
Right. So leaving out of college, right? So you were able to get a scholarship.
Yep, to sing.
Didn't take on too many student loans.
No.
Awesome. And you were able to leverage that. What some find to be the college trap for them, you were able to leverage that to propel yourself and find purpose and find
Exactly.
some new skills and gifts, right? Experiences. Now, leaving out of college, did you enter corporate America? Did you go get a job? Did you start entrepreneurship? How'd that go?
So my first year out of college, I kind of took a sabbatical of sorts, where I took a very insignificant, very trivial job working at TJ Maxx in customer service.
Okay.
And so I did TJ Maxx for that first year. But during that year, I had an issue with my bank account, and I went in to talk to the branch manager about the issue with my bank account. And in that conversation, the branch manager offered me a job at the bank.
Interesting.
Right. It was really interesting because I wasn't thinking about working at a bank. I wasn't thinking about banking. I wasn't thinking I was going to be getting a job offer. But it's that favor and how leaders just have always seen something in me that they wanted to nurture. And so I wasn't standing on the desk like, you're going to give me my overdraft fees back or anything like that. I was myself. And so he offered me a job. And I told him in that moment, like, yo, I'm not even looking for a job right now. I'm in my sabbatical year because my school was going through that accreditation process. And so in my senior year, the first semester of my senior year, my school let go of all of my teachers. And so I'm just in school, you know what I'm saying, singing and barely even being able to go to class. So I was very much like, I'm going to chill for a second. And so I was in the middle of chilling. And the branch manager offered me the job. And I was like, I'm not going to be looking for a job until really around August. And that might have been like April. I didn't think anything more of it. But Jay, August happened. And it was one of those, I looked at my bank account like, yo, this $200 check from TJ Maxx ain't really kind of where I'm feeling I need to be now, because I'm ready to make some more adult moves now.
Right.
And sure enough, just the assistant branch manager called me and was like, hey, Mr. B, put notes in here for me to call you in August. Wow. So he was so intrigued by me that he put notes in their system to call me in August, and I started there. And so I started making like $35,000, and I ended up becoming Employee of the Year at that bank.
Wow, gotcha. All right, so you entered the corporate trap.
Yeah, exactly. Entered the corporate trap.
Did you have aspirations at that time to be an entrepreneur, own your own business, anything? Or right now, it was just survive, work, just enjoy life? Like, what was your mindset at that point?
So my mom has always been an entrepreneur. Serial entrepreneur. She's so in fact, my first business that I was ever a part of was owning a flower shop with my mom. Okay. But my mom owned the convenience store in an area called Seabreeze in North Carolina, in Wilmington. And so my mom has always been that entrepreneur. But she's also been like she's, it's whatever kind of energy too also, because my dad has always been a breadwinner.
Right.
And so, and then my dad, of course, owning properties and doing a lot of those things, those are all entrepreneurial and,
Right.
being an insurance agent, and so that was very native to me, seeing entrepreneurship, but it wasn't really anything I was thinking about. Like,
Right.
I was never thinking about that. It was really just, how do you get paid to be yourself? And so I was able to kind of find a rhythm in that, through helping my brothers and sisters shine. The PR deliverable is that, like putting them on the news and all that kind of stuff like that, and seeing how the president of my college responded to being on the news, seeing when I was an intern reporter, seeing the emotional aspect of people of color, maybe for the first time ever being able to share their stories on ABC or through a major magazine or a major newspaper, and us being the most unsung people in the country, that felt like a calling to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it was something I was really passionate about. But then going into the space that I went into as an entrepreneur was the understanding that everybody's not ready for PR. You know what? So instead of PR, let's actually get a fresh coat of paint here. Let's go ahead and actually get Ratchet Regina from your front desk, who's putting a dark cloud over everybody who comes into your business. Let's get rid of the rats and roaches. Like, let's do these things before we turn the lights on. Let's make sure your logo's popping, your website's popping. And so that's how I kind of came into innovating the space with creating a 360-degree brand management and strategy consulting agency.
Awesome. So it seems like kind of PR was like and then into brand management was like an intersection of just you being you, using your gifts, that philanthropic service perspective. So it's like leading, being a servant leader, also being a big personality, all those different things all wrapped in one.
Right. And then also having leaders always see something in me, and me bringing something to them. And so that put me in a
fair
position.
exchange.
Yeah, exactly.
In the trap, we call that fair exchange, no robbery.
Yes, exactly. And fair exchanges will never be robbery.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so then understanding that leaders, need guidance also. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, it's like, you can't, as a leader, you can't think of all the things.
Right. Need
You know
counsel,
what-
need
yeah,
advisors.
Exactly. And so understanding that was something that leaders had sought after me for a long time. And again, it was just me just being paid to be myself.
Awesome. All right, guys, we're going into this part we call the trap analysis, right?
Okay.
So as I look at what you expressed to me about your life, your upbringing, where you are today, it seems like because of the environment that you had, mom, pops, brothers, right, family, church, which is actually really good for us to all take away from as we build our families and our legacies, right? That you were able to avoid, maneuver, even leverage what would be the corporate trap for some, what would be the college trap for some. You were able to go serve and build the community as opposed to go stand on a corner and destroy the community and get caught in the corner trap, right? Excuse me. And also really find your space in being you, and not really. And I think that individualism has allowed you to kind of balance being stuck in the culture trap. See, the culture trap is really a lot of times we're chasing a trend and we're tracing like images of others that we want to achieve. So
Exactly.
I want you to see, that I look like such and such, I drive what such and such drives,
Exactly.
I sound like such and such. It seems like whether it was the individualism of you being, one of the few blacks in your school, having to be an individual and stand out there, or at home, versus your brother in church or whatever, that
Right.
you've
Getting
always
all the solos.
right, that you've always found your path to stand out, and it's allowed you to really beat, avoid, or circumvent a lot of these traps many of us get sucked into.
Agreed.
Yeah, I know for myself and a lot of the guests that we have, and a lot of mentees that I mentor throughout the country, I know a lot of us through insecurities really get sucked into a lot of these traps, because some people go to college and they don't even want to go to college.
Right.
They just do it because their family or others says
they
what
think
I'm
that's what
supposed to be
they're supposed to do.
doing.
Exactly.
Or my peers are going, so I'm going to go. So like you're not even standing on your true self, your true balance, what you really want to do. Some folks will get a job, but they really want to be an entrepreneur because they're scared to stand on their individualism,
Yep.
right? And so I think that if we can stay rooted and find some sense of, as you have, a strong sense of self-confidence, it would allow us to really move in a way where we're moving on our own path, but not a path that someone else or a system has designed for us, right, and to take advantage of us. So I think that you're an amazing example of the kind of mentality, kind of ideology, and just intangibles that we all can pull from if we want to avoid and beat these traps.
Agreed. And I'm here to share them, like, because it's like even just my Atlanta experience. Like, I moved to Atlanta in May of 2007, and by July of that same year, I kind of feel like I got the keys to the city. Like, me and my homeboy Tierre Brooks, shout out to Dr. Tierre Brooks, Reverend Dr. Tierre Brooks. And so we were here, and we met some girls at a pizza place, and they invited us to this party. And they were like, yo, y'all got to go get dressed for this one, you know what I'm saying? So, I learned how to tie a bow tie for the first time for this party.
Right.
And so we get there, and they like, yo, your names is not on the list. Mind you, Jay, we are watching Andre 3000. It's 2007. We're watching Andre 3000, Big Boy, Chingy, Ludacris, Bobby Valentino, like all of the record label executives, all the media, they all come in and go into this party. Monica, everybody was at this party. And so we're watching them all go in, and meanwhile, we at the door getting deaded. So like, yo, hold on.
Yeah, I ain't it.
Yeah, y'all not it. Excuse me, fam. Yo, step to the side, old retired Falcon linebacker at the door telling you to move out the way. And so that was that. That was a moment, and that's another pro tip. Okay. And so I went back, asked the security dude, I was like, yo, so we got invited by these two chicks. So we asked the security about whether the two chicks was on the list. They like, nah, they not on the list. And I'm like, yo, big bro, listen, you know what I'm saying? Just moved here from NC. You see we dripped, you know what I'm saying? Drip, we was using the word drip there. I dipped. You see we dipped.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we had the R now.
Yeah, right, exactly. We had an R. You see we dipped. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's got to be something you could do. You know what I'm saying? We're not here to cause no trouble. We're not here to bother nobody. And he was like, yo, step to the side real quick one more time. And so, a bunch of liddies walked in, and then he was like, yo, Playboy. You know what I'm saying? Called us over and led us into this party. And Jay, even now, and at this point I was a part of the launching of Duce in Atlanta and several Cirocs in Atlanta and a lot of those things. But even now I can count on my two hands the times I've been to a actual open bar event. Like the bar is open. Not we got Bacardi for you, or we got unlimited Hennessy.
Open drink.
Like you decided you wanted Ace of Spade, you could order some Ace of Spade, and they would crack open a bottle and pour you a glass. It was that type of energy, and it was very intimate, small room. And because we were in this room, all of the people,
you gotta be somebody.
Yes, exactly. You got to be somebody, and because you got to be somebody, everybody was giving us their contact information. And so now I'm in a space where these are the contacts that these major brands, media, everyone wants to be in touch with these people that I have their first name, last name, cell phone, email address. I have those connections. You want to pay me to connect with those people, I can make that money. And so that was kind of that was that. But what I learned is that the gatekeepers, everyone wants to network with the celebrity, but it's that security guard. You know what I'm saying? It's that assistant. It's that person who can really run a play for you. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could try to try to reach Usher all the time, but Usher's assistant is readily available to answer the phone and can speak on that person's behalf. Right. And so just kind of learning how to treat everybody like they're a star.
And advocate for you.
Exactly. Yeah. And so, to treat the lay people like stars, and it's just created a level of favor now where I show up to places and, the Red Sea gets parted, and I'm quite sure some of these people who part the Red Sea for me don't know my name.
Right.
Like, yo, I don't know who bro is, but I know bro is the guy, so let me go in and make this happen for him. And so.
Yeah, that's really a tip, man, for those who are looking to excel in any career. I call them filter sources, right?
Yeah.
In real estate and in business. A lot of times we're always aiming for the key person, and there's people right there that can filter you, the relationship, filter you, the business, and it's just about you, building organic relationships, right?
It is.
Treating people well. A lot of times, we like to snub people, and people are looking
like
for
move out the way to help. There to help.
The big followers and the blue check, and that instant gives you credibility, right? And all that.
Right.
When there's someone that may have less followers and not be quote unquote verified,
and be more impactful.
Be more impactful.
Way more impactful.
Yep. So that's just something you guys to consider as you're maneuvering through life. So let's talk about this trap transition. Okay. So you were. Momentarily, you went to TJ Maxx, you were in the bank, and you could have been boxed into the corporate world, like, big check, accolades, raise, right, promotions, all that. So what was the defining moment that was like, whether it was the bank or any other part of your corporate stint of career that said, I'm out, I see that I have real traction, real legs, and an opportunity to do my own thing.
So I guess it goes back to that wholeness. You know, like I definitely grew up in a 2-parent home, but my dad was a black dad. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, look, you know what I'm saying? Look,
black dad.
yeah. And so there's a an element to that.
we gotta rebrand black dads,
we do.
man.
We have to rebrand black dads, but we have to rebrand them through the work.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
right,
because
right.
because my
Not
dad
'cause we
was-
want to.
Yes,
Right.
because my dad was absolutely a provider. My dad was absolutely a disciplinarian. My dad absolutely was a man of integrity and of respect. He was respected when people knew that my dad was my dad. I mean, I look like him. He's a shorter, equally as cute version of me with more gray hair. And so it was like, oh, you Glenn's son, you Dickey's son, and I noticed that people treated me with more respect at the point that they knew that. So my dad definitely did all those things. But my dad wasn't a nurturer. It was never a, come sit beside me, son, and let me tell you, about the time I struggled with women or any of that kind of stuff.
Let me get vulnerable with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Right,
So I didn't get that from him. But I knew me as an empathic, intuitive kid. I knew that I needed that, and so our relationship was distant in that way because that was the way that I wanted to connect, and that wasn't a way that he necessarily
knew how to connect.
Yeah, exactly. And so when I graduated college, a part of that sabbatical and taking that time that year was me having something ignited in me through church and through my college ministers and stuff like that to work on that relationship with my dad. So that's really why I came back to my hometown to do anything. It was really just to be in a better place with him because everyone who knows my dad respects and loves him and looks at him as this extraordinary person. But I'm like, I barely know this guy. You know what I'm saying? And he's my
Thanks
dad.
for the food, but
yeah, exactly. And so it was me working through that. And once I felt a level of comfort and a new level of relation with my dad, I knew that it was time for me to leave my hometown because my hometown, I knew my head was like, if I leaned to the left, I would hit my head on the ceiling.
Right.
And so moving to Atlanta was a big aha moment for me. It was because it was a decision I had to make between New York, Los Angeles, and Atlanta. I knew I needed to be somewhere popping because I knew I was popping.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so it was like, I need to go somewhere. And New York is a little too grimy for me. You know what I'm saying? Like just, that's New York's the kind of place you got to wear a metal plate on your back to make sure when they try to stab you, it ain't gonna go through. And
or a phone book. It's all good.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Oh, got it. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? And then LA is so far from anything I've ever known, loved, or cared about. And so Atlanta really was a big aha moment for me because it gave me the space. You know what I'm saying? I knew I needed more latitude and longitude for my personality, for my gifts, for my being. And then also I got to keep Southern hospitality. I got to order a tea and know it was gonna be sweet. You know what I'm saying? Not like in Texas. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that was a big aha moment. Moving to Atlanta and knowing kind of where I already knew that I was trying to figure out how to get paid to be myself. And then of course, going to that event in July of my first year and getting like literally all the plugs, all the real movers and shakers all at one time in my phone. That was all aha for me.
Right. That set it off right there. All right, so we got you in the trap seat right now.
Okay.
All right, and in the trap seat, we like to cover something and do a little fun thing we call trap blown. Right.
Okay.
So trap blown, we want you to blow our minds. Okay. Which you already have with amazing vocals, amazing story.
Right. I mean, are you not blown already?
Right. All that. Yeah. So now you got to take it up a notch.
Okay, got it.
All right. So trap blown. Give us. So we kind of cover. One or two or three things. We'll play around with it a little bit.
Okay.
What is an amazing story through all your comings and goings of something like an amazing experience you've had just being Daniel Dickey? Like, what is one of those moments where like, yo, you wouldn't even believe I did this, or I met whom, or I pulled this off?
Okay.
Give me one of those.
Okay. So I can give you one or two of those. So one of those, that same year, 2007. Like 2007, this is before I was the person that people know now as the guy. This is before Atlanta figured out I was the guy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so me and my buddy Tier, we you remember at this point now we know to treat the security guard like they are basically the done data of life. And so we're at Compound, the legendary Compound.
Legendary.
And so we're there at Compound. And so, my security guard, dap up and let me into the inner sanctums at every moment. And so we are partying with Michael Jordan. Dominique Wilkins, Damian Wilkins, their son, Gerald Wilkins, Barkley, Oakley. They're all in this section. We're in this section with them. It's like 20 people in this section. And it's a bunch of these NBA dudes, and some baddies, of course. You know what I'm saying? What are we doing if that's not? And so Michael Jordan and a few of these guys, Jay, they are throwing $100 bills into the air in this section, basically with mostly dudes. Okay?
Right.
And so me and my buddy Tierra, we sitting kind of across from each other in this section. Bro, we not here for this, okay? Look, so listen, I know we both picked up thousands of dollars in cash, like from on the ground. It was falling on us. Yeah, so
Michael Jordan made it rain on you.
Yeah, exactly. and so Michael Jordan is from my hometown. You know what I'm saying? And my dad had some affiliation with him, but we just moved to Atlanta, some young dudes trying to figure it out. And yeah, shout out to Michael Jordan, because he definitely hit me with the stimulus, the PPP, before they were doing PPP. So that was a moment of real hilariousness, and I was blown, because I couldn't. First of all, I'm like, yo, we left there with thousands of dollars, mind you. I mean, thousands of dollars, and it was just falling on us. You know, the move where something fall and you put your foot on it and pull it to you. All that kind of stuff was happening with thousands of dollars.
I was going to ask you, like, give us an embarrassing moment. I don't know if that's like that borderlines. Like,
I mean, it depends on your perspective.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It was a blessing.
Yeah, because that's the only way I could ever see that.
Right.
You know, anytime I'm like, it's like, you say rain on me, and that happened. It was thousands of dollars.
Oh, my cheeks hurt.
Yeah, because there was no shame and there was no embarrassment for us, because I came with the dollar amount and I left with thousands of dollars more.
From MJ.
Right, exactly.
Dominique Wilkins.
Shout out to the NBA, exactly.
Right. Oh, man.
So there was one. I was able to actually through doing a movie premiere, I was able to secure and create the partnership with Tyler Perry Studios and Hosea Feed the Hungry. Mm-hmm. And Tyler gave the largest individual gift to Hosea Feed the Hungry through this event that I produced.
Wow.
So that was something that was super
big
cool.
Service.
Yeah, big service. The fact that I got to meet Stevie Wonder and to hear Stevie Wonder say my name and like talk to me about music.
That's
stuff
big.
Like that. Yeah, that was big. It's I got to
what? So how does Stevie Wonder say your name? Was like, hey, Daniel Dickey, come here. Like,
well,
who's Daniel Dickey? Like, tell me that.
Well, I'm one of those people. Just in general, people meet me and just fall in love with me. It's just a thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing anything but being myself,
right.
But I'm apparently lovable. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Apparently you guys are seeing this now, of course, all of you guys watching today. And so I met his daughter. She came to an event that we were doing, and I was like, listen, your dad is to me the king of music. Like, I ain't even gonna do king of R&B or any of those things. I was like, your dad's the king of music, and as a vocalist, people have always said that I sound like Stevie Wonder. And that kind of thing. So I was like, I would love to meet your dad at any moment that opportunity exists. And sure enough, she called me. He was having dinner at Frank Ski's. Shout out to the OG Frank Ski. When Frank Ski had Frank Ski's.
Right.
And it was just us in this restaurant. And so, so they were, I came, me and I don't know if I was with anyone or not, but we came in. And they were having dinner, and we played the bar and want to walk up on Stevie Wonder all willy-nilly, you know what I'm saying? And so so she was like, come on over here, and he stood up to meet me. He shook my hand, did the little wrist thing like they say from Ray Charles, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And she told him about me. She's like, she's like, you're a singer, and he like said those things.
Wow.
I was like, oh, I am those things. If Stevie Wonder just said it, you know what I'm saying? Right. So that was like, to me, that was like the golden fleece or something.
Wow.
But I've had a lot of those experiences, to be honest.
Wow. So you got a young man from small town, North Carolina, mostly minority population for black people.
Yep.
You go to this HBCU.
And that was the blackest experience of life for me. It was culture shock. It was all of those things.
What HBCU?
I went to Barbara Scotia College.
Never heard of that.
Yep, Barbara Scotia College is right outside of Charlotte, North Carolina. It's a Presbyterian HBCU, and it's actually the school that Mary McLeod Bethune graduated from to go on to create Bethune-Cookman. And it was also the school that Felicia Rashad's mother went to as well.
Wow.
And then
awesome.
me. So,
you, right.
alumni.
All of them. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right? So you did all that, and then to be in a position, because I know a lot of us, I grew up in a small town, New Jersey, and a lot of us sit back at home. We're like, man, I love to meet such and such one day. I love to meet such and such one day. And you're talking about y'all opened up for a John Legend. I got rained on by Michael Jordan.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? I met Stevie Wonder, right, and so many others. And before I forget, I was going to save it for last. But before I forget, because I forget, even though my memory's pretty sharp.
Yeah.
But Kobe Morrison keeps me up at night.
Right.
I got a story about you that I'm gonna share.
Okay.
Right. It's your interview, but I'm gonna share the story real quick. Right.
I mean, it's us.
So my wife's an actress. For those who don't know, right? Ernestine Morrison, and Daniel does represent us in a Legacy Center, in brand management and some PR and kind of things. And so my wife's telling me a story about the BMF, the infamous Black Mafia family, the BMF release party for the new series BMF, produced by G Unit TV and Films. 50, holler at us, please.
Yeah, please.
So she's telling me the story of the night, right? That our good friend Da Vinci, who's one of the leads on BMF, she's there at the party, and apparently you invited me like the day before, and I was out of town. Yep. And so you guys are at this Atlanta release of BMF, which was like epic, I heard.
Yeah, the dopest premiere ever.
Yeah, so I heard like
Easily.
everybody was
far
there.
and away, dopest TV film premiere ever.
Yes. So she's telling me I guess name some of the celebrities that were there that night.
I mean, just all of Black excellence, like they were all there.
Everybody, yeah. You name them,
they were there.
Okay.
I mean, at the premiere, what's kind of one of the things that kind of made it leaps and bounds above every other premiere. Snoop Dogg performs, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so Snoop performs, Lil Duval performs, Jeremiah performs, 50 performs, like at a movie premiere. I mean, a TV show premiere. So yeah, it killed it.
Yeah. So right, so here's a quick story. So Ernestine's telling me about the night. So Ernestine got a picture with 50 Cent, right? 50, gave her a hug and took a picture together.
You're welcome, Ernestine.
Right. So I watched 50's hand. 50's hand wasn't too low. It was up and proper.
Like,
you know what I'm saying?
50, respect.
Yeah. Respect. Okay. So she's telling me about all that, and she goes, Daniel Dickey goes up to 50 Cent, right? This is Daniel Dickey.
Yeah.
Goes up to 50 Cent like, take this picture, cuz. Like, hey, cuz, get this pic real quick.
Right.
So mind you, majority of us, right, were meeting a major celebrity on his night of a major film, and you're probably thinking, and you're twitching like, I want to get a pic. What should I do? How should I approach him? I should go to the manager, to the assistant.
Right.
Hey, please, 50, do you mind?
Yeah.
Daniel Dickey goes,
up to
hey,
50.
Cuz, take this pic real quick.
Yeah, no. And not even it wasn't a selfie.
It wasn't?
Yeah, like, take this pic. Yeah, line it up. Yeah. So, yeah, no, it was that.
I busted out laughing, man. I said, only Daniel Dickey will walk on the 50 and be like, take this pic, cuz.
Right. Yeah. So to me, it's just like, I have these conversations with students. I have these conversations with my staff. I have these conversations with people in general. It's like people can only talk down to you if you think they're above you. You know what I'm saying?
Bars.
Like, so that's
trap bars.
Yeah.
That's a new one.
Yeah.
Trap bars.
Trap bars. I like it.
Trap bars.
And so, like, people can only talk down to you if they're above you. And to me, my mindset has always been God and then me. There's no people above me. So it's like, I don't look at anyone in any way of any exaltation or any of those kinds of things. I love dope people, and God keeps me surrounded by dope people. But they're all just people to me. You know what I'm saying? And, Stevie Wonder, that was me meeting, like, one of my GOAT legends.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And 50 Cent is a GOAT, but he's not someone he's not on any precipice or anything that I exalt.
Right, you know
what I'm saying?
You're a man like I'm a man.
Yeah, exactly.
You do your thing, I do my thing.
Exactly.
And
like, we both lit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you have more money than me, definitely. To be clear, you have way more money than me. But that's the only thing that you would ever have more than me, because I'm a lot of person in my own self.
That's amazing, man. That was really two trap bars there. I love that bar of there's God and then there's me.
Exactly.
That's really a proper way to to look at the hierarchy of
people
of life,
humanity.
Yeah. I love that. So that was dope from Dan Dickey. All right, so that was Trap Blown.
Okay.
All right, awesome. And so now, as we're in the trap sheet, I need you to leave us, please. Okay. All this wisdom, all this big personality. You already gave us some major bars right there.
Okay.
If someone speaking to your younger self, and you kind of did it the right way based on what you told us today. But speaking to someone that is either in a position or some of the positions you faced yourself in life that you might have made a right or wrong choice in, but someone that's going through the college, going through the college trap or going through the corporate trap, they find themselves at TJ Maxx and they didn't get the bank offer, or they're at the bank and they didn't think to believe on betting on getting paid to be themselves. What's some advice you can give our audience today, a trap cheat sheet for how they can, blow through, avoid, and get around these traps?
All right, so I'll do two things. So one thing is something I call the purpose algorithm. Okay, and it's something I created because it's like, I noticed with young people and with people in general, it's like a part of them is waiting on this audible voice to come and it is me and you should be a therapist.
My child.
Yeah. And like they're just waiting on God's audible voice to, give them something. And so, but to me, I think unlocking purpose is easy. And I created this algorithm called the purpose algorithm. And the algorithm's components are helping others. That's number one. That's the first piece of the algorithm. Helping others plus your unique gifts, skills, and abilities equal your purpose. Okay, so the purpose algorithm is helpful because again, I honestly think that we were all put here to be the answers to each other's prayers.
I agree.
Okay, and so if you're not thinking about helping others, you won't ever unlock your purpose. And so helping others plus your unique gifts, skills, and abilities, the things that you learned, the things that are innate, your spiritual, your supernatural gifts, all of those things should equal and put you into a place where you can unlock purpose.
Can I add to that?
Yeah.
Experiences.
Yeah, exactly.
Your experiences help you.
Exactly.
Yep.
In that same algorithm. So the purpose algorithm is helpful. And then my mindset in general is something I call the Kim principle. And the Kim principle is my belief that if you are able to keep it moving forward positively and productively, no matter what comes your way in life, your good things, the things that you've earned, the things that God has for you, the things that the universe, however you subscribe in that space, the things that are for you will find their way to you. They will manifest right on your path. Right. You ain't got to stab nobody in the back. You ain't got to step on somebody's neck. You ain't got to be hanging out the window. They will find you. Exactly. And so I think those are two things, because for us, our mindsets be the reason a lot of times that we're trapped. You know what I'm saying? It's about the way we go into things. It's about the way we look at our lives. And whether we like it or not, time is taking us forward. Time ain't waiting because you had a bad day.
Right.
Because you got a cold, because you missed your flight. Time doesn't care about any of those things.
Because you were poor, because you were abused, because you went to prison, because you on parole. That joint is the time that keeps it moving.
Clock, it's unforgiving.
Yeah.
Tick tock, no matter what is going on. And so if you can arm yourself with a mindset that is positive and productive and is reverent to what is right on your path, you know what I'm saying? Your good things will find you. Wow. And it happens to me in all the ways, like weird ways, like super weird ways. But because I have that expectation now, it's not surprising. Because in life, you really are gonna reap what you sow. And people say that in a way that's condemning a lot of times. Like, oh, you did that, you're gonna reap what you sow. But there's nothing more hopeful to me than understanding that what I put into life, I'm going to get back.
Right. And it only is condemning if you know you giving out.
Exactly.
Bad energy.
Exactly.
And
like
bad things.
Scamming, robbing, so then you can't be surprised if those things happen to you. But I'm also not surprised when good things happen to me because I know what I bring.
Right.
And so I think the purpose algorithm and the Kim principle are things that anyone can find something in, not related to any trade or any of those things, because we are Renaissance people. Again, we derive from the people who created everything.
Right.
And so just understand that that's our truth, not the stuff that this country sells us, but our truth is a truth of innovation and excellence. That's our heredity. That's where we derive, and really owning that, you know what I'm saying, is going to be a key to unlocking and beating the trap.
Absolutely. I love that. I want to pull one more thing out from you, because on that, I love it, because I try to think about the listener and the audience, even my prior experiences in life, and just me having been exposed to so many people from youth and just so many different areas of life. For the person that might have gave up on their childhood dreams of those gifts and those skills and all those things, and now is working or maybe in college or coming home from prison, right, off the correctional trap. What is it that they can tangibly do or to kind of reprogram that mindset that I don't have to be boxed in to just this one thing, right? It's been a whole lifetime of a system and families programming them that, hey, you got, don't risk doing all these other things. You got this safe, cool job or this one opportunity. What's one thing or whatever the Spirit gives you that they can do, that our audience can do to kind of propel them outside of being boxed into just one skill set, one gift, or one trade or one job?
Well, I think first it's understanding the truth of who we actually are. Like, I think that's the first one, is just understanding our real and authentic and the truth of us, and so beyond that, I would say something that I think that anyone could do is to really go back and look at 12. Saying like everyone can go back and look at what they were thinking, what they were doing, what they were passionate about.
Dreaming.
Yeah, exactly. What they were dreaming about, because the giver of our dreams, that's our God. You know what I'm saying? So that comes from a divine place. And when you're able to tap into your divine vibration, you will definitely, like, the blessings will chase after you. Right. And that's for anybody. It doesn't matter whether you're in high school, in college, whether you went to prison, any of those things, because purpose is still yours.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And your purpose is still yours, and that'll never be forfeited, no matter what ups and downs you went through to get through that. So I always like to remind people, like, I'm looking at Jay's book, The 12-Step Real Estate Process, and the Business Crash Course, but that age of 12, what were you thinking about at 12? What were you dreaming about at 12? What were you passionate about at 12? Because 9 times out of 10, that's still something that people are getting paid to do now.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And you will do that, and it will never be begrudgingly.
Right. And you know what I love, too, as we wrap, the fact that you said, even if I don't get paid to do it.
Yes. That's
if it's art, if it's sketching, if it's writing, if it's dancing, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Even just dancing. I don't got to give it up because I'm 40. If I love dancing, do that because it might have another intangible benefit.
Exactly.
Or help unlock other gifts within your life, paid
or
not paid.
It does. No, it definitely does. Like, just like, I can say I played basketball with Jamie Foxx. And
see, here we go again. You know what I'm saying? Big flex.
Right. Like, and all these A-list people, and it's just because I love playing basketball. And I also understand that the people around me that God's going to put around me are going to be people that dwell in a level of excellence, or there's a level of excellence I can help them unlock.
Awesome. All right, family. So where can our audience go to tap in with Daniel Dickey, the Resource Guild, and all amazing things you have to offer the world?
So
where can they find you?
So they can find me on all social media platforms at Mr. Mr. Daniel Dickey. Very findable in that space. You can find out about how to tap into what our agency is up to at theresourceguild.com. There you go.
All that. Listen, guys, you want to be inspired, motivated, look at somebody with an amazing life. Daniel Dickey, the only man in the world to play basketball with Jamie Foxx, meet Stevie Wonder, get rained on by Michael Jordan. All and open up for John Legend, all in one lifetime, in real life. Tap into my brother right here, an amazing man, and thank you for visiting us in the trap.
Listen, I appreciate being in the space. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate just all that Jay Morrison brings to the world. I am a Jay Morrison fan.
Thank you, brother.
And I tease you about being PJ. The polarizing figure that you are.
What's PJ stand for? Tell them.
Polarizing Jay. You know what I'm saying? Like, people, people. But at the end of the day, here's the thing. It's and this is I guess another trap bar. But no one who's ever achieved greatness did that without any naysaying, without any adversity, and those kinds of things. So it's like you have to understand that if that's what your path is taking you to, you have to understand that you're gonna go through a valley to get to that mountaintop. And so you got to keep that with you when you're going through, when you're on your ups or on your downs.
Absolutely. And so this is Daniel Dickey, guys, a.k.a. 82%, because that's his ratio on the court.
Buckets,
in real life, right? He's not perfect, but he's shooting 82.
Yeah, active and shooting a good percentage. In fact, when people ask me how I'm doing, I've taken the word busy out of my vocabulary completely.
Yeah.
Because that's what a lot of people are doing who aren't doing anything they were passionate or purpose to do. A lot of times people are busy. They work in these corporate jobs and can lose that job in any moment. So now you're so busy, now you empty. You know? And so, yeah. So I'm active and shooting a good percentage. And that's my real life.
All right, guys. I'll see you all on the next episode of How to Beat the Trap. Make sure you go follow Daniel Dickey, a trap super beater in real life. All right, guys. Step in. Peace.
This podcast is sponsored by the Legacy Center in Atlanta, Georgia, a.k.a. the Black
Your
House.
legacy starts here. Welcome to the Legacy Center, a 30,000 square foot Class A office space, event, and media facility. We are equipped with over an acre of outdoor space on our beautiful lawn, 20,000 square feet of warehouse and studio space. From fashion shows to baby showers, use our space to incubate your business, host your event, film your production, comedy shows to seminars to conferences to weddings. The Legacy Center has all of your event needs covered. We offer high-speed internet through the building, TVs with webcams for live stream access, private offices for small businesses, an upscale classroom, a cafe, and sleek conference rooms. Schedule a tour with us today. Visit us at www.legacycenter.com. You are the leader and the CEO of your last name.